Looking at the scans today, looking like ETNB. I'm working on my lights. It's freaking super bright in here. Let me see. What was that one? ETNB. Little medical stock popping up 34%. One of the top movers on the day. Carvana also up. But there's still a lot of higher float stocks up. But at least they are getting away from the banks. FRC is still leading the way on the morning though, with 9 million shares traded. There we go. All right. So let's go ahead and switch over here to Free Smart Edge. And I see GameStop up 51%. Let me look at the news on some of these. FRC starting us off from this morning. Bank turmoil. First Republic Bank stock falls as investors await Fed's decision. I think there's going to be Fed news today. Let me look. Today is March the 22nd. Yep. So something's happening today on the 21st, 22nd. We'll see what comes out. But it's just a star beside it. It's not really any kind of news there. Okay. Let's see what else. GameStop. Check my app. Let's see. Okay. They hit you with them fees, didn't it, Ben? I got a little bit. They took what, a $30 fee off of that? That's crazy. Everybody be feeing. Yeah. Yeah, Ben. It gets hit with those fees, man. We'll talk. We'll look at it later, though. I guess. Um. Let's see. Yeah, FRC was the hot commodity yesterday. It dropped. Yesterday it was pop. Well, it looked like it was popping, but if we look out here on the 4-hour chart, it really didn't do much. Like it had a fall from $81 down here to 28, and then we saw it continue down all the way to the tens. And yesterday it looked like it was doing a lot. It moved from what 14 up to $19, but I mean, if you look at the overall picture, it wasn't huge. That's why I wasn't really into trading it because it doesn't, most of the momentum stocks that we're trading have a nice little uptrend pattern where you can see where or at least have a educated guesstimate of where this thing is going to bounce to continue higher. But this one on the 4-hour, I just was not impressed with it. Even if it did rip, I mean, this would be a very unobvious rip. And it's got a gap fill to do. It's got a top up here already. I was like, nah, I'm good. So it left that one on the burner yesterday. And then today we got GameStop. Just, I mean, I guess when one sector closes, people automatically rush to what the meme stocks were. Let's look at the news on GameStop. GameStop, much healthier business today than the start of 2021. GameStop soars 48% pre-market after earnings beat. Okay, so that's an earnings play. So that is already too late. Anybody that was going to make some okay money in this one would have been already in GameStop before earnings. I don't really try to play after earnings. I mean, it may continue up, but it's probably going to be choppy. ETNB was why GameStop share or no ETNB 89 bios phase 2 in living trial of pregozafirmine, a non-alcoholic stetohepatitis NASH achieved high statistical endpoints with weekly and every 2-week dosing at 24 weeks. Okay. I don't know. Let me see. Trial non-alcohol. I don't know what that's gonna do. I guess we'll watch it throughout the day. It's up 40%. Maybe if it holds, it may be interesting. But just looking at the gappers today, Carvana was also up 23%. Very large float. I mean, we have seen some very large float movers. Now, I'm not against trading large floats, but they gotta come down. I gotta buy those low. I cannot buy those high because they're rips down. Like we saw FRC yesterday being a higher float, ripping down $1.50 off of breakouts, which is insane. Also, I made this little other piece of my scanner. I just call it ABAP. It's basically above or below VWAP. So I know when I look over here, sometimes when I look at how much it's up on the day, it really doesn't tell me if it's below or above VWAP. And I could have put VWAP over here, but I really wanted to not take up so much space here. If I put VWAP on here, let's see, VWAP. It's right here. This is the VWAP. I could compare the numbers and be like, is it above, is it below, whatever. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to shorten this. I'm going to make something that that tells me if it's above and below, because I really don't care about what VWAP is. I want to know if it's above average price or below, And so that's what this is doing. A stands for above, B stands for below. And when it shifts sides, it'll just show me, hey, this is below, this is below. And I'm trying to get those dip buys, trying to buy those lows. So I'm looking for something below average price. And right now, our top three are looking like they're below or going below. It's a little shifty on ETNB. It's right at it. And the calculations for ETNB is calculating off of the 15-minute candle, so it needs to be below VWAP for a 15-minute candle. I don't want it to just go below for a minute candle then pop back up. I want it to hold below. Let some accumulation come in. Carvana had a high up here of 10, almost $11. GameStop had a high up here of 27.57. And this is a hump day. There is probably going to be a lot of maybe some continuation on some of the older stocks that we've seen this week and last week. Good morning, Lori Lee. Maybe some continuation from what we've seen in the last 2 weeks. But as of now, I'm just going to focus on the gappers on the day. If anything's doing continuation, it's kind of hard to trade continuation that's not on or not competing with the gap scanners that got low volume, because we're looking at the gappers and then those other ones are kind of moving. And sometimes they have some pretty good moves. Sometimes they have some pretty good range, but everybody isn't seeing them. So we want some nice volume in there to pick us up. I took one. Oh yeah, I did take one trade on oh my goodness, what was that I traded? NYCB the other day. I traded NYCB. I was watching it. Came up here to the 912s, had a nice little dip. Where did I get in? I got in. Was this the right one? No, it was this one. I got in here around this $8.59 level, and it lifted up and then it went down, but it did give a little bit of profit. It was a higher float, so I didn't go big size. I just went 50 shares off this bottom, this support here, and it gave a bounce to VWAP, and that's all I want is to use VWAP as an out for half. But yeah, that was an okay trade. It was a green trade. And if it rips through VWAP, great. You know, if it wants to rip on that day, great, pay me. You know, I'm still holding half. Carvana getting a little smaller bars here on Carvana. I think ETNB is going to be our lowest, looks like our lowest float. Let's see what that float actually is. Okay, float is 36.04 million. This is another one held heavily by institutions. So we'll see how that trades. Again, if I'm going to buy, it's got to buy low. If the institutions are in there playing, got to be a low buy. GameStop, what's your float? NA. And AMC is also up here. I wonder, is AMC going to follow GameStop's sentiment? Good morning, GD. I think that's all that I see. If y'all see anything else other than whoa, Why is that disappeared? Okay. So yeah, if y'all see anything else, these other scanners that I have don't start until the market opens and it scans the intraday market. That's why there's nothing there. But these right here are just what is the top volume movers on the day. What is the competition for anything else that wants to come into play? Let me see if I can spot any levels on Carvana. What are some obvious levels on Carvana? Looking at the daily chart here, closed yesterday at around the 793s and it is up to the 990s. So right under this top here, but it did have a previous gap right here. 990 is the bottom of this, the bottom ish of this candle right here. So it did gap fill. So I wonder, is it going to find short resistance or get over this $10 level? It may go up there and test it. I don't know. We'll watch it. ETNB. Any obvious levels that we can see on it? It jumped from 10. It closed at $10.93 yesterday. Jumped up here to $14.83, which again is right around or about 30 cents over this previous top. So $15.50 was the highs. So, and it's tested this $14.50 multiple times. So I wonder, is it going to come down and test $14.50 again today, and try to get some recovery? We'll watch that, and let me put that over here as well. $14.50. $14.50. I want to see another test of the $14.50 during intraday. And then it's got a high up there, the $15.50. Okay. So we'll see. As long as it doesn't fall too much. GameStop closed yesterday at 1765. Opening today is 26. Right up here at the 200 EM, or not EMA, SMA. 2690. Right around this 96 level. Get rid of this one. Okay, so that's a pretty big gap up to that SMA. We'll see what kind of action is off of that SMA. Again, it's been up here before. It threw a wick up here from 30 up to 35 and then came back down through this. So we'll see how it holds that SMA. We got about 9 minutes to the bell, and we pretty much got our watch. Our watch is some pretty high float stocks. The lowest float stock we've seen is ETNB, with volume, with 5 million shares of volume. But it's going to definitely be a competition today. SoFi. All right, let's swing over here to the watch. The other things that I've been watching over the last couple of weeks. SI down to 144 now. Man, Lori, I'm glad you sold your position. You would have been down another 50 cents. Cardio. And that's why I like these things to hold up $2, but sometimes they get weak and they go on through. And that's okay because they're going on without me. CDIO, another, looks like another hold of around right under the $4 level. That was a detection of the coronary heart disease. Still on an uptrend though, gapped up and holding up this gap. This gap was from 136 to almost $3. So still holding this gap as a little bit of support. I don't know if it's going to gap fill before moving higher, but yeah, that's obvious levels. UNCY. Still kind of having some, still above the gap, above $1, holding up $2 by 25 cents. Okay. PLTR. They won that $100 million deal from the U.S. State Department. Still holding around the 200 SMA. AMAM was the breast cancer treatment in China, still on a nice little move up and then a long consolidation. So how many days has it been consolidating? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Consolidating within this big bar here. So from 637 up to 1314 is holding about the midpoint on AMAM. Mara, we're getting to the crypto sentiment movers. Mara back at the SMA. CLSK, BKKT. SI was one, but it's kind of losing its gusto. Riot continued to pile up. What is this? Oh, these were some that just popped. They popped and went on down. I didn't know why they were up, so I kind of just was like, okay, well, I'm just going to see if any news comes out on them, but none has, and they kind of lost their volume. AMBP, AMBI, RLS, and SSS. All right. Yeah, Lori. Yeah, I saw that 225, and I was like, man, this is interesting. If I get in at 225, I can risk to the $2. That's a 25-cent risk, and I'm okay with that. But with what the competition that was on that day, that's the only reason that I didn't take the trade on that day. I was like, I don't know if it can move on today, so I'm gonna give it some time and see, if it's going to get like some accumulation around that $2 to 225 level. But man, once it got through that $2 level, the shorts ate it up. Okay. Anyway, did any of you guys actually trade any of those bank stocks? Did you guys get any scalps or try to go for any breakouts or anything on the bank stocks, or have you been sitting on the sidelines during all of this turmoil? Because I mean, the bank stocks were definitely tempting. They had range, what looked like range, but in comparison to the rest of their movement, it really wasn't a big range. It was a lot of dead cat bouncing and stuff like that. Okay, GameStop coming on back down, went up there to almost $30 or $28. ETNB got up there to 17 bucks and came on back down to 14. I put that as a resistance level. GD on the sideline. Yeah, I've been sidelined as well. I've just been like, no, I'm good. A lot of this stuff just looks like traps. I don't know why. It just feels like when I'm about to press the buy button, it's like this may be a trap. this feels like, you know, why do I get goosebumps with this ticker? Sometimes, you know, a lot of times we leave feelings and all of that on the side, but sometimes your feelings is not feelings, it's instinct. And it's like, you know what? This feels like I'm gonna get my hand chopped off. Let me not do this. Got 2 minutes to the bell. I guess I'll watch GameStop first since it's up the most, 51%. And then look for it to fail and maybe something else can get some play. All right, market open. Let's see what GameStop does. Can it go ahead and dive? Everything looking red right out of the open. The lowest float mover today is ETNB, but it does have competition above it. GameStop pumping up there. Biggest mover, so a lot of eyes on it. Has this top here of what, the 2683, and already very volatile on GameStop. Can it break through this 2670 and start holding up the 27s? A lot of volatility there. Everything red right there out of the open. Tesla working its way up though. Very quickly. Let me throw Tesla up there. Tesla, and what was that other one? Okay, yeah, GameStop getting on down there. So now let's go ahead and watch. Let me see what FRC is doing. FRC kind of moving flat, not a whole lot of range on that one. GameStop at 25 bucks. Carvana halted going down. ETNB, not much to look at as well. AMC went down there and tested this 462. We look on the 4-hour. Previous low of the last candle was 460, but it's only up 6%. So who's going to see this one over the ones that are up 45%, 30%, 22% that have bigger ranges? That's my question. ETNB going on down there. Previous high of the body of this candle was 1475 ish level on this 4-hour chart. 1475. Don't really know where it can fall to. No obvious spots for ETNB. If you look out here on the daily chart for ETNB, we can see that it is pumping back into this previous level, and again, it's tested this multiple times and failed at this 15 right under the $15 level. So we'll see how low it pushes. Down 4% on the day right now, though. FRC continuing down as well. So nothing on the top volume movers except for SoFi, which is a loan company, student loan company, for the most part, is green. But everything else, oh, and PACW. But FRC going down. I told Donnell yesterday I'll see them in FRC around this $12 level, because I think that's where it's going. It's going to try to gap fill and test those lows on FRC. GameStop previous 4-hour candle was at the 24.25-ish level. Wonder, will that be a the first bounce point for GameStop, or will it rip through that? We'll see the ease of passage here at the 24.25 once it gets there. But it is working its way down. Down 6% on the day now. 24.60s, 24.50s coming into play. And we're looking at this 4-hour chart here. Looking at it coming to these previous levels. Will it be able to break that previous 4-hour candle? 12 million. Yep. 20, almost 24, 25 there. Slowing down there just a little bit on that previous candle. That's the thing about the larger time frames. These supports and resistance, they hold a little bit better, especially short term, than when you look at other time frames. But still, it is on a descent, so it's going to take some time. It's going to have to slow this momentum for real. This could just be a fake where hopeful people bought this level for a return higher, and it never happens. That's why I let that first hour over here play out. Let that first bit of volume get through there. This is 6 million shares traded on this one, down to the 24.25s, right down there to the bottom of this previous 4-hour candle. Let's see, FRC still doing its thing. Okay. We'll see if it can continue downward. See if they get smashed out of there. And then for these that really don't have any kind of rise on them, I really don't care. AMC doesn't really have a big rise, so I'm going to go ahead and kill that one, remove that one. ETNB pulling back up as well. Has a top here of the 15s, so they'll need to break that 15, break back into this previous level of resistance. It is right above the VWAP right now by just a little bit, kind of teetering. Okay, GameStop did break down to the 24s. Definitely getting on through that level that we thought it was going to hold. So breaking the lows of the previous candle. Low was 24.19, and it's down into the 23s now. Very big range on GameStop, but still holding 36% of its gain. So it does have the trend upward, but gotta wait for those lows. Down 10% on the day though. But it is sucking up the volume. So top volume movers, FRC, GME, and Tesla. Now, so it's dropped $3 per share back to this little consolidation back here. I wonder, can we see 22s? ETNB coming back positive on the day. ETNB, the lowest float mover on the scans right now, holding up this 1398, looking like it looking for the next top. The previous candle on the 15-minute was 1530, and even so it's green on all candles right now. We'll see how it tests at 15. Looking like it's getting a little bit of pressure there at the 15. Trying to hold that up. 15 getting some action. Wonder, will it get the volume though? That's my only issue with this thing is the volume. Getting that push from 15 up to the 1533s for a little what looks like a false break. 1526 up to the 1536, a 10-cent breakout, and then falling there. But I'm more interested in what has the volume though. GameStop down here at 23.83. This first 15-minute candle, only 2 million shares traded on it. In comparison to FRC with 6 million, GameStop with 9 million. Let me make sure this is 6 million. Tesla 9 million. Carvana 4 million. So definitely some competition. And ETNB, will it break down back down below the 15s? Not really competing on the day. It's one of the few holding green on the day though. Okay, so GameStop getting on down here to the 23s. Continue to push down below this previous consolidation level on the 15-minute into the previous bar. So finding a little bounce point, what looks like the 23 whole dollar level, but it's not done yet. I would definitely let that candle close. And that's one of the biggest things in my trading that I have to do. Let the candle close. Let it tell me what it wants to do next. But it's got to close to do that. It's got to be stapled into fact. Because this thing could pop. It could drop another $3. It has too much time left. Gotta let those candles close. Show me that you're starting to get bought up or accumulated. Carvana continuing down there. Okay, ETNB back to 15. Looks like it won't be holding green for long. It looks good on a daily chart. I mean, it's holding right here. The lows here was 1459. It dropped down through this level for a little bit of buying off of this top, but then got going. And now it's headed up. 1550 is the high. So will it get over that 1550 and hold on this low volume? Will it be able to break out with low volume? Is this news that good? And we can see its competition is starting to double. So I guess I didn't pull up the rules. I guess didn't even look over them. So on my, not really rules, but the things that I look at before. First, is it a low float? How many outstanding shares are there? Is it a top volume mover? Does it have a catalyst? Is a retracement worth the risk? 2, what is the competition on the day, and has the competition doubled or tripled the volume of the ticker that we like? Are the shorts strongly winning intraday, and is their momentum showing signs of weakness? And then, are there any large areas of interest on the level 2? So looking at, which one was it? ETNB. Looking on for the large levels of interest, really no obvious levels sitting out here. No kind of 10,000 shares or anything like that. So not interested in that. Want to see those big sizes, big hands on board. FRC. We see some 10,000, 17,000 share positions. See, that's a little bit more interesting. You know, people are interested. Not that I'm interested in trading FRC, but those bigger numbers on the level 2s. Can we see those sizes sitting out there? GameStop, where are those 10,000 share positions? Not in there yet on the ask or the bid. All right, down 10%. Tesla also down. Let me look at the SPY. SPY is made a move down as well. Of course, Tesla and some of these larger caps are dependent on the SPY, what the SPY wants to do. GameStop giving a little bit of a bounce off this 23, but I don't know if it's done yet. This is a big candle. What is the probability of the next hour candle taking out all of this on GameStop, getting all the way back up to the 26s? I don't think that possibility is too big. Okay, so ETNB has almost 10 million shares. We can see the top movers are definitely doubling that. ETNB continue to get more and more choppy. This is the open of the next 15-minute candle. High of this hour candle is 1547, so it couldn't quite get that 1550. Right on the brink of going red on the day, though. Carvana continue to pump down, only up 15% now. Not too pretty. So it gave up 10% of its gains out of the open on Carvana. PACW, very, very flat movement there. Don't like that. AMD popping up now. Green. I'm going to take off PACW and put in AMD. AMD with a nice pump up. On the 4-hour, it is quite flat. No real uptrend there. Just kind of in a consolidation mode. Again, ETNB trying to do a little breakout here, but it's on lower volume. And we're gonna see what kind of action a low volume, what this high competition does to a low volume ticker. Let's see. It's probably going to end up being a nice little cave in here on the break of 1550. Let's see if they can get it. $15.60s. Are those shorts going to come into play here? Back across the 1550s. Does it have the volume to hold it up here? 1568, 70s. That's a 20-cent break over that previous high of the 1550. So it is testing the highs during intraday. Here's the daily chart. It tested this high and coming back into it. So definitely shorts getting happy here. Shorts getting real happy. Immediately shorted down. That's why I want to see them compete on the day. If something's doubling or tripling their volume, I just don't. I'm not believing that they can hold up with all the eyes up here on these 20 million share stocks. I just don't believe they can push. Tesla going on down. Yeah, ETNB with a huge pushback to 15 bucks. Still green on the 4-hour, green on the hour chart, but coming to the close of this 15-minute in 10 minutes. Again, you got to wait till the candle closes. It could bounce back up there, but got to see what this candle tells you once it closes. Tesla taking the lead as the leading volume mover with 21 million shares traded. And at this point, none of the stocks have really gapped away from VWAP, gapped away from the average price action. I mean, this VWAP is at 198. For Tesla being as volatile as it is, it's still pretty close to VWAP, I would say. FRC continuing to play around as well. 1543s, getting plenty of people trapped up. GameStop, do you want to continue down? First hour has, well, the first hour for me, my hours close on like 9:30, 8:30, 9:30, 10:30. So I wait for the 30s for it to close. So it's still got, what, 40 minutes left before I'll even look for trades on something like GameStop or something. AMD continue to push up though. Only up 1% and 1% since the open, but has moved from the 95.50s up here to the 97.60s on low volume. AMD exploding through that 98. We'll see if it may be a grinder on the day. It may be one of the only ones that holds some green on the day. GameStop popping up there to the 24. So that's a nice little pop off this 22.97 with the higher low. So 23 up to 24. That's a dollar swing there. And so now we have a nice bottom here at the 23.14 for support. So my question is, on the hour chart, will it be able to hold this level, this low that it created at the 23? Or is the momentum too much and can it push back through this 23? right? So 23 got tested, but we're trying to see, especially on the next open of the hour, is it going to crack down that 23? If it can hold above this 23, it may give some potential move back up, but we'll see. It's still holding 35% of its gains on the day or since pre-market. So I wouldn't say that it's bearish, still in the uptrend, but it's got to show some signs that it's slowing down around that previous low that it's set. Definitely already broke down one low here on the 4-hour chart, that previous low. And now we'll put this one in as the new low that it's testing above, that 23. Carvana continuing down, has given back 12% of its gains. And it is getting, even if you were interested in Carvana, it's getting overshadowed. It's getting doubled by Tesla. ETNB just looking like it's going to be a flat cake today. Not able to really hold out of any levels. Not a whole lot of love towards it. AMD continues up above the 98s. Continuing to get more and more volume. Probably going to catch up with ETNB here very soon and be above it. Yep, just jumped above it. So pushing ETNB off the charts. Let's actually look at my scanners and what I'm seeing over here on the scans. So Tesla top, game, FRC, Carvana, SoFi, AMD, ETNB getting pushed down more and more and losing more and more volume. We also got Nvidia catching up, PACW catching up with ETNB, AMC up there. So yeah, a lot of competition in the higher floats. GameStop, we're seeing a push down, and this will be the retest of this level of the 23. We'll see what it wants to do down here. Can it get pushed down through this level of the 23? If it does break to new lows before this new hour opens, I would kind of be skeptical. I would say, okay, well, if it's breaking new lows with this much momentum, what's the possibility of it breaking back over these highs? So at this point, resistance, a high break for me would be it comes down, it tests this level of 23, and then comes back for a break of 24.35. But with the momentum that it is showing, we may actually get an even lower resistance level to try to get broken. So I'll just take my time here. It actually looks like it just came with the VWAP and just failed out. So that's okay. Still down 11%. We're going to let it play though. FRC pretty much just going flat. No real conviction either way. Carvana under 9 now. Has taken down half of its gains. Had a high up here of 1094, and with the way that it's trading, I don't know if it'll be able to return to 1094, especially being a higher float. SoFi pushing on up here. Lori says beat, great swing. Let's look into beat. Oh yeah, that was the heartbeat one. Had a low of once upon a time 139, and it got going over several days from $2 all the way up here to 6, came back down to 294, grinded back up to 6, came back down to 2 around this 250 level again. And it continues to hold that $2 level. Okay. So GameStop looking like it wants to test that 23 again. Is this whole dollar level going to hold? or will it just get slipped through? ETNB keeps playing around with that 1525, trying to keep its spot on the top volume movers. It does not need to do any kind of dumping. If it does a dump, it's going to lose on the day. It's going to lose on the day, because I already know people are looking at GameStop. So now ETNB, they're getting over the double level. So can they triple the volume that ETNB is seeing? ETNB has 12 million shares. So can they get about 36 million up there and go ahead and triple that volume? Tesla is well on its way with 26 million shares traded. Whether it goes up and down really doesn't matter. Where the people are looking is what matters to me, and the range. So right now, looking at Tesla's range, it moved from 200 down to 196. And then now this bar is from 195 up to 198. So about $3 moves on Tesla, but it is a higher price stock. With GameStop, it moved from 27 down to 23, which is a $4 move. And definitely has some range. So I think I can capture, like 10, 15 cents off of GameStop, based on the range that it's showing me. But we got to not catch a falling knife. We got to wait till the knife bounces. AMD continues up though. Come on, GameStop. Get that push through that 23. What's the mid level down here? Mid is like what? 20 bucks? 21 something? Looking like it wants to do a 3-bar play to the downside. Go ahead, buddy. Go get them. Okay, a little test of the 23. Starting to see a little bit of buying pressure at this 23, but I'm going to let it continue. This is just the open of this candle. So not super interested just on a little fake open. It is open. It's going to have to break over the 23.35. Now, if it does that right now, oh well. I'll just be like, well, missed that one. But I like to see it kind of consolidate down here for a little bit of accumulation first. And at this point, we'll see. Looks like it's slowing down around that 24 break. 24 becoming a little bit of resistance for it. We'll see if it continues to stay below that 24. Whoops. Because still on the 4-hour, we got big red. On the hour chart, we got big red. So a lot of momentum needs to be slowed down here. ETNB going back up there and testing the high again. 1550. Will it be another failure here? 1550 again, being a little bit of a blockade for it. I'm telling you, all you got to do is look at the competition on the day. Be like, okay, well, the competition, why is this one 30 million, this one 12 million, and I think this one's going to do a proper breakout? Nope. Don't work like that. Everybody got to push. We all got to get behind the bus and push. And I say don't work like that. Now, there is a possibility that it does break out on low volume. But is it going to hold on low volume? Like again, we saw one breakout here to the 1580s, which was a couple of cents higher than the 50, 30 cents higher than the previous day's break. And now we see another failed attempt where it makes a lower high and finds resistance. So is this going to give shorts confidence that this thing can be pushed back below what, 1390? Possibly, There's a lot of supply area up here, and the demand area is not looking so strong with the buying. Okay, so still under the 24s. 23, finding a little bit of resistance there, finding a lower high. So this one, 24, we'll see what the low test looks like. AMD continued to grind higher. The high of the previous candle was 98.87. Looks like volume's running out on ETNB. First 15-minute candle 3 million, then 2 million, and now trying to get to 1 million shares traded on this candle. Good morning, Stunks and Chumps. Right? Yeah. Trying to get her done today before I get out of here. Was looking at GameStop today. GameStop's been doing some crazy stuff this morning, but definitely want to buy a low and not a high. It is getting some smaller candles here, but when you look at the hour chart, it's just not small enough. And now there's 30,000 share position there on the level 2s there at 23.90. 30,000 share on the ask. So that isn't great. Unless that is buying pressure, but I don't know. We're going to have to see. With the momentum where it's going, 30,000 shares sitting out there is pretty big. And there's a hidden size right there at the 91 right there. So I don't know about that. We're about to see what's going to happen at the 23.90s if it gets there again or tests there. That's a big size. If we look over here, we see a 10,000 at the 23.40. So, interesting. And that's what I'm looking for. I want to see some interesting levels on the level 2s. Where is that interest? You know? But that is a big wall. And look at the numbers beside it. Like, they're so much smaller than that 30,000. Actually, all the way up the ass. There's nowhere else where it is that big. So that is definitely a level of interest. I'll actually put a note of that 23.90 for a note that was a level of harsh rejection there with somebody sitting there on 23.90. 30,000 shares on the ask. Okay. So again, looking for those levels of interest on the level 2s as well. Just kind of stick out, because that could be the beginning of a short squeeze. If this thing holds up 23 again, this level of 23, and then it goes back and tests that 23.90 and it breaks it, that could be a major level for a nice short squeeze on that 23.90 when we come back to it. If we come back to it. But just taking notes. Okay, ETNB back towards the $15. Now it's 13 million. We got 30 million up here on the board. 26, 25. Yeah, it's falling on off. FRC getting on up there, only up 1%. has moved from the 14 up to the 1592, 15 up to the 1560, and then 1517 up to the 1612s. Okay. So yeah, GameStop's still interesting. Still interesting. Now, if GameStop starts falling off and something else takes the cake, then well, you know, what is this thing? SCYX popping up. Let me see what this thing is. SCYX. Right at the $2. It popped up briefly because it crossed that $2 level. But since it's so close and it's already done so much work coming up to this $2 level, I'm probably going to leave that one alone. It's only 2 million shares traded. It's up 28%, but not interesting to me. So now my issue is, okay, GameStop is down here, which is great. But there are some things like for longs, most longs want to trade things that's going their way anyway. Like they want to trade the momentum. They want to trade with a stock. So FRC, I want to see FRC fail before I do anything with GameStop. I want to see FRC fail. Anything that's in direct competition with it, I want to see it fail before I try to trade what I think I like, because I want to know that everybody else likes it too. Everybody else wants to try to take a stab at GameStop. FRC though is the main, getting that main upward momentum, holding green on the day. Even though it's not a big percentage change, it's only up 2%. It has range. This is from the 1528 up here to the 1639. So this may still be a day that FRC is a problem. And I don't want it to become a problem for me, you know? So I want to take everything into consideration. I want to see FRC absolutely splat. And I'm definitely not trading FRC, not with this, what it looks like right now, but somebody's trading. It's almost got 30 million shares traded. So somebody's interested. I don't know if it's shorts, longs, or what. I'm not interested though. ETNB almost off the scans. One away from being out of the top 10 in the volume. That's crazy. Not trying to survive. Some buying pressure coming in there. So we're going to see this. It's testing 2390 level that we marked at first. We're going to see if those were sellers or not at that 2390 level. Let's see what happens. 2390. Can we? There's 98s, 99s. Are those shorts getting filled here? Because there was a 30,000 position here. $24s. Still red on the hour chart and the 4-hour chart. Will it get back below the 2490 or 2390? Little push up, little push up. Definitely feeling a lot of shares here. Right back up to another VWAP test. Okay, so will we see 2390 come back into play? If it gets back under 2390, I would say this is bearish. That was a heavy level of interest for somebody. Don't know if it was buyers or sellers. $24. Big range on these though. 24. So will 2390 hold is the question. And then the next question is, if it comes down to these lows, will these lows hold and give another retest of the 2390? So it's just kind of like you form a thesis of what could happen. If it happens in your favor, great, right? But you want to take note of what everybody is seeing. You know, that 2390, if you got somebody that's paying for the book orders, that they're seeing everybody's orders on the books, and they see this 2390, they may take note. So that's why I want to see the action around that 2390 before, you know, trying to be like, oh, this is bullish, you know, because, you know, it could change. We're trying to day trade, not swing trade. We're looking for, you know, that short-term accuracy. $23.90. Are you gonna come back into play, buddy? 24, 24. Well, we see there's 23s, 23.90s. Okay, so let's see if it's gonna pump down here. 23.90 back on board. Okay, so 23.90 was reclaimed. We're gonna see if it can get a push down here from that 23.90 because it seems like there's some strength there at 23.90. $23.90 right on it, right on the 23.90. Something's going on there. Okay, interesting. Will it get the breakdown? Will it get those 80s back on there? There's the 80s. Another pop of the 90s there. So trying to stay above that 23.90 now. So the question is, will it hold? And at this point, it's like a 50-50. It's like, will it hold? If it doesn't, you know, you got what? Until the bottom of this candle, what, 23-ish? That's an 80-cent drop. I wouldn't risk that. Yep, 23.90 continues to get some love, man. I don't know what kind of, this does not look like longs are getting in here. Okay, getting back above the 24s briefly, but it's still lower than the previous high. The previous high was 24.34. So it's got a kind of a tight range from 24.34 and hold up this 23.90, which was that spot of interest from before. So it it's super tight in here. Right there, 23.90. So it's either going to have, and this is like a 50-50 play. Either it's going to break out or it's going to break down. Right? 50-50. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give you time. I don't have no money in there. So I don't like 50-50 plays. I want to see you choose a direction. If you go up, great. I just missed the trade. If you come down, hey, I was right. 23.90 was a problem. So it's getting up there, 24.20s, trying to do the break, getting up there. I know one thing, all the shorts that were there, that 30,000 shares that was sitting out there, I know they got their feels if they are shorting this. 23.30s got tapped. The 34s was the previous high. A lot of red just came through. Okay, let's see if they get it going down here. Small tap up. They got through the 34s. Hopefully this isn't a fake for the longs because it's going to hurt if this is a fake. It needs to continue pushing for the longs, the ones that have already entered. Looking at the hour candle, holding up quite nicely up here at the 24.50s. But this candle has not closed yet. So I give it time. I'll give it time. Waiting for candles to close to show me their life force, what they really want to do. All right, I need to be getting ready for my meeting that I'm missing right now. I did not realize it's a 9:20. Anyway, GameStop still a interesting one. I want to see it come down some more. That 23.90 spot was, I don't know if it's going to get away from that spot or if it's going to continue to push up, but whatever. I need to get to this meeting though. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. This is the watch list that I'll be watching or whatever. But these are some higher flow stocks. It may be some chop and drop, but again, be careful. It is hump day. A lot of things either do continuations or they end up going sideways during the midweek, the digestion of the news. And I think there's going to be some Fed news today. So we'll see what that does as well. But I got to get off of here. Let me see. I didn't even. Dang it. Let me get something. Definitely. Damn. Let's see. I'll take that. Okay. And as always, appreciate you guys for tuning in. We're going to see what that 23.90 wants to do. If it wants to come back below it, usually if it has upward momentum, it will just go. If it's breaking VWAP, it is a larger float though, may take some time. But I'll be watching. I got to get out of here, get to this meeting, and probably leave the office as well. But again, midweek update. Doing some sitting on my hands. Have been on the sidelines for most of the week. Anyway, and as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.